Welcome back to Girls Unscripted, everybody. My name is Carolyn.
My name is Kate, and just for full transparency, this is our second intro recording because the first one was bad.
We tried a bit. It didn't work.
It was a bad bit. You guys, sometimes you may listen and be like, that didn't really land, but we still like let it fly. That one was so bad. I was like, Carolyn, it was on me.
Yeah.
It wasn't my best work.
No, I think it takes two to tango, so we're totally fine.
You were doing the best you could. You really were.
I was hanging on.
You were really nice
But we're
to
here
me.
now, and that's all that matters.
And that's all that matters. I'm repping the Philadelphia Eagles. We're in the Super Bowl on Sunday. All you need to know about that is go Birds.
Go Birds. Weren't they in the Super Bowl last year?
They were in the Super Bowl like 2 years ago and then like 4 years ago. So it's like they were in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. I think it was 3 years ago in like 2021 maybe. 2022. It was, and it's a snooze.
Go
I
Birds.
mean, go Birds. Love the Eagles. Philly proud.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But I will say there was a piece of me that was worried that we were going to be in the Super Bowl against the Bills or the Lions because naturally I like to root for an underdog.
Oh.
And the Eagles have won a couple years ago and they've been in the Super Bowl a couple years ago. I'm really happy the Eagles are there, but I think it's time for a new team to have their moment. I remember how amazing it felt when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, and I want another city to feel that.
That's really kind of you, Kate.
I'm a selfless person.
That's very altruistic. You know, I remember what it felt like when the Tennessee Titans almost won one Super Bowl back in the early 2000s. And I was like, fuck yeah.
So what you're saying is go Titans.
Go Titans.
Maybe next year.
Tighten up. I don't know. I think we have a saying too, but go Birds.
Okay, you probably have a saying.
I like the Birds. I mean, Travis Kelce, again, spread the love. Spread the love. Well, I guess so both sides can spread the love.
What do you mean?
In terms of wins. So, like, I don't care. Aren't you playing the Chiefs?
Yeah. Why are you whispering the Chiefs? Aren't you playing the Chiefs? Yeah, it's public knowledge.
Yeah.
We're not spoiling who's in the Super Bowl on Girls Unscripted.
But you both are powerhouses, is all I'm saying.
That's what they say.
So whoever wins has already won a lot in life. And that's great.
Very true. Any news in your life?
Absolutely not. Back to you, Kate.
Great. I really don't have much news in my life, but I do have some reality TV
And
too.
that's what we're here to talk about.
Before we get into our Vanderpump Rules recap, did you hear Paige Desorbo broke her silence and is finally addressing what really went down with the breakup with Craig?
And I feel bad that I even doubted her for a millisecond. What she said made sense, and you're going to break it down for us right now.
Well, it did make sense. And here's the thing. I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh my God, she's trying to spin the narrative. She's just doing this for attention, yada, yada, whatever. But if you were constantly hearing rumors about yourself that weren't true, your ex-boyfriend's co-stars going on Watch What Happens Live basically talking shit on you, I would want to speak up too. So basically the rumors were she was cheating on Craig, she moved on really quickly, yada yada whatever. She went on her podcast and said, look, here's the deal. I was told I'm not supposed to say anything, and I was respecting Craig's wishes. But since he's not sticking up for me, and since people are spilling all these false stories about me, I'm going to talk. We broke up over Thanksgiving weekend.
Which is a long time ago.
Which is a long time ago. Craig went on to do press for Southern Charm, acting as if we were still in a relationship.
Which is kind of crazy.
And I didn't say anything. He had to process in his own way. And this is all, again, according to Paige. And I do think on Girls Unscripted, we love Paige and we love Craig. But we're girls.
We love Paige more.
We love Paige more.
It's not a contest for me.
And I think we've both been burned by guys. I think we know enough guys.
I think we've both been burned by Craig.
We've been burned by default.
By default. By proxy.
But I think we've been around enough guys that say like, oh, my ex was crazy. It's like, and it's so easy. Girls always take the high road. Anyways, I'm getting on a tangent. She said that Craig then went on a trip around Christmas time where he was acting as if he was single. Don't really know what that means.
Well, I think I have an idea.
Like that he was like with a girl?
I imagine there was a lot of sex.
well, if you want to act single, fuck somebody else. That's for sure.
You're either having sex or you're not having sex.
So Paige caught wind of this and said, fine, if you're going to act single, like I'm done denying the public the truth. Like I do think we should be a little private, but I have a podcast. And she's a huge podcast. So
and she has a bigger following than Craig does.
Right. So then I feel like most people hadn't even heard of Pillows and Beer until it became a storyline of Southern Charm this season.
I had no idea it existed.
Right. She said it on her podcast. That's when the rumors started going around because she then started, I guess, seeing someone, but she said, I do not have a boyfriend. I am not seeing someone. I am acting single because I am single. And at that time that I revealed the truth, we had already been broken up for a month. And that's not, and she even said, she did ask Craig to shut down the rumors. And Craig said, I don't want to speak about the relationship, which fair on him. He doesn't have to say anything. He hasn't said anything.
Well, but he has.
He hasn't.
He said things through his actions.
He actually did put out a video where,
he was like, I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
Like, he made it sound like it was just a Christmas surprise.
and if he's asking Paige to not say anything, then he should ask Austin to not say anything.
Totally. And unfollowing Paige says way more than anything he could say says.
Very true. I think Paige was ready to take the high road on this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think her final straw was when Austin and Miss Patricia went on Watch What Happens Live and basically shit talked her.
Yeah.
But get this. So I made a video recapping the episode, her podcast, and I said that. I said I think that was her final straw. Well, you know, my loyal follower, Miss Patricia. She came through in the comments.
Okay.
And said something like, just wait until you see Paige in next week's Southern Charm episode.
Oh, that is tea you can only get right here at Girls Unscripted. There you go.
It's juicy.
I wonder what that means. What could she possibly do?
They get in a fight. I saw that on the preview. They get in an argument.
Which is like the first big argument we'll have seen them through, no?
Yeah, I do think they bicker. I think Southern Charm editors favor Craig, and I think Summer House editors will favor Paige.
As they should.
It's as they should.
It's their team.
It just sucks that Southern Charm is the one that's coming out first during all this breakup. But you want to know what my thought process was? When Craig was sitting at that lunch and him and Austin were arguing and Shep was like trying to mediate or whatever, the way that he was being so stubborn and not like, I'm not an Austin fan,
right?
But I don't really think Austin was asking for too much out of his friend.
Yeah.
And Craig was so defensive and so argumentative. My first thought was, if he's fighting like this with Austin, I'm sure he fights like this with Paige.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Just like you'll see in this week's Vanderpump episode, the way that Jax yelled when cameras weren't around, that's how he yells when cameras are not around.
That was shocking. I can't wait to get into that.
We'll get there. Sorry, but
I do have another little piece of Summer House tea that you might not know, unless you saw my TikTok about it, but you probably haven't.
Spill it.
West Wilson.
Okay.
Do you know who he's rumored to have been putzing around with?
Literally, you could tell me like a girl from McDonald's and you could tell me a celebrity. I won't be surprised.
McDonald's is kind of a close guess.
Weird.
Brianna Chickenfry.
Oh. Brain explosion. Man, you know, my friend, our producer Rachel, did Reiki on me this weekend. I think I just have an intuitive.
You're way more intuitive now.
No, this is nuts.
That was crazy. The only thing crazier if you would have said it was a girl from Burger King. But we'll get there. You just need a couple more Reiki sessions. Reiki by Rachel. Not sponsored.
Yeah, not sponsored, but totally could be. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. That is, I like that match. That makes sense to me.
Me too.
Are people not digging it?
I think people are like, yeah, the comments are like, yeah, he's shitty and she's shitty. They're perfect for each other. Oh, but you know what? People change. It is what it is. It makes sense to me. He kind of gives me, like, looks-wise, kind of like Zach Bryan vibes a little bit.
Okay,
like a shorter, like, I don't know.
Which the girl has a type. That's fine.
And they are kind of similar people. I am a follower of Brianna. Before all of this fallout with Grace, I was a huge fan of Brianna Chickenfry. I mean, I still am. I'm a fan of the brand of like, I'm young, I'm living in New York, I'm a partier, I'm fucked up, I'm messy. Like, that's her brand. Yeah. And I think if she wants to hook up with West Wilson from Summer House, let her be. Yeah. My favorite comment is, I need to see her and Paige interact at a Summer House party.
Oh.
I don't think Paige would even give her the time of day.
I feel like Paige would test the waters and then actually think it was nice and keep talking. And I think they'd be friends. Yeah.
And here's the thing. It also could just be a rumor.
Yeah.
But that's the streets are talking.
The streets are talking.
And that's what they're saying.
Well, you said fall from Grace. What did
she had a fallout with her friend Grace.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, it was a whole separate thing. You got to really be in the lore.
Well, I get excited when I hear that because I'm going to dig into the lore later today then.
Oh, there's a lot to it. I can tell you when we're done here.
Yeah. We've got things to talk about.
We have got things to talk about. Oh, and get this. So on fucking Instagram, if someone follows you and you don't follow them and you go to their profile, it'll say follow back. I wanted to watch one of Dave Portnoy's videos and it said follow back.
Are you sure that's When it says follow back?
Yeah. Yeah. If you're not following someone and they're following you, and you
Oh,
go on
yeah,
their
yeah.
profile, it'll
Wait,
say,
Dave Portnoy follows
so
you?
no, I'm working around by saying Dave Portnoy follows 74 people and I'm one of them. What the fuck? What the fuck? Why? I think it's because I did a recap of one of his podcast episodes with the whole Brianna Chickenfry and Zach Bryan thing.
Wait.
But I was like,
Dave.
what the fuck?
Are you a gabber?
Is Dave, you know what? I wouldn't put it past the man. He loves gossip. Dave Portnoy could be a gabber.
Are you here with us right now? What is going on? 74 people and you're one of them?
Dave Portnoy, blink twice if you're listening right now.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I know. I was shocked.
That might be your biggest milestone for me.
It was big.
That's huge. It also makes me wonder, like, is he hitting on you?
No,
Like,
you know what, Carolyn? Maybe he's just a fan.
Is he being gross, Dave? That's true. I'm not to
He
diminish
hasn't
your
DM'd
talent.
me. He's just a fan.
But-
He wants the tea.
He does want the tea.
And
where
I'm giving it to him.
Where can you get it? Right here.
Right here. We have spilled so much tea in what? We've been doing this for fucking 10 minutes? I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm done.
And this is real quick. Really, really, really quick. Just a friendly reminder. The Challenge All-Stars 5's Rivals has aired.
It started?
It started, I know.
Already?
It started out of nowhere. That's why I felt like I had to tell you.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it came out last
You
Wednesday.
just made my week.
The first episode is good.
Oh my God. It's Rivals?
Yeah.
That's my favorite format.
And it's the All-Stars, so it's like good people. Ashley Mitchell's back.
Oh.
Sydney Bucksbaum, our friend that we mention on Spot all the time, did an interview with her.
Oh.
She's just the
wow.
same.
Uncanceled. You know, they just need a while and time out and then they're welcome.
Yeah, literally that's what they do.
Yeah.
Even with Bravo, with Jax, Kristen, just put them in timeout. They're not canceled. They're in timeout. That's a good way to put
They're
it.
put on pause, as Andy would like to say.
Yeah, which is smart from a producer standpoint to say like you're not totally done,
Yeah.
because if they say they're totally done and then they bring them back, they're gonna get a lot of shit.
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Not totally done at all. Well, then we're going back in time, everyone.
Yes.
And welcome back to 2013. We are at a brunch place. I didn't know what this was. Did you?
Yes, I do. I've passed it many a times. It's called like Solar da Cahuenga or whatever. It's right off the freeway, basically on Hollywood and Vine. It still exists, but it's not called that anymore. I've passed it so many times, and I remember thinking, that kind of looks like a shitty place. But they go here a lot in Vanderpump.
That's where they are. They're here for brunch, and Stassi eats with Christina Kelly and admits that she has slept with Jax 3 times.
I just want to start off by saying I actually do miss Christina Kelly. Now that I'm like outside of the show, she was the best version of a 2010s Mean Girl, where like
I was just going to say Mean Girl.
we're like, when Stassi's being a bitch, you're like, oh, she's a fucking bitch. But when Christina Kelly's being a bitch, you're like, wait, did she just say something mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's so nice and gentle in how she says things, but you're like, oh, you're actually a fucking bitch. And when they brought her back for season 10 of Vanderpump Rules, she was the same way. I feel like she read Raquel like a book.
Yeah.
And no one wanted to believe her. And just here, she's reading Jax like a book. She's the only one that's being fucking logical to Stassi. Why the fuck are you back with Jax?
And why did they not bring her as a main cast member on the show, I wonder?
It's a really good question. I don't know. I wonder if like they didn't want to ruin the dynamic of like Stassi, Katie, Kristen.
Yeah, they felt like they had their sides or teams or whatever.
Because I don't think Christina is really that good of friends with Katie and Kristen.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I wrote here. And I wasn't as jazzed about it. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know Christina Kelly was a mean girl.
She's mean.
Wait, tell me what she was wearing so I can picture it, because I know it's going to be bad and I want to laugh at it.
She fucking hates Sheena.
Whoa, that's so mean.
And when I listened to that scene, it did remind me of, we will see this in upcoming seasons, her, Christina Kelly, and Stassi making fun of Sheena's wedding dress.
Yes.
They're mean.
That it is harsh. I almost put it on the sheet, but she doesn't have a slot.
No, but yeah, she could be an honorable mention.
Yeah,
she
for sure.
only says mean things.
Oh gosh, it's vicious.
I did write down, I feel like she's really good at sniffing out a bad egg, right? She called out Raquel, she called out Jax. But then she's a fan of Frank.
Which is a question mark for everyone.
This scene, which it's so funny, I forgot that this was even part of the storyline. Stassi mentions how she misses Frank, which I'm not sure how. I guess Frank went from giving people wedgies at Sir to being in politics in DC, which is a normal trajectory, I guess.
Was he working in politics?
I'm
Did you
assuming.
Just because he went to DC.
He moved to DC. I'm assuming. President Frank. I don't even
for
know his
president.
last name.
Well, you know he's a Republican.
That's what I'm saying.
Frank.
He's trying to get into office.
Yes, I had no idea that Frank was even still in the picture, which it sounds like he doesn't even know he's really still in the picture either, except his friend called to have Stassi come to DC.
Which is weird.
Which I don't remember.
Reading between the lines, okay, so Frank isn't responding to Stassi, but Frank's friend is like, you need to come.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what hostage situation is happening there.
I only know Frank is still in the picture because at the end of this season, this is when the whole like sex tape thing happens.
Oh, so gross.
And it's with Frank.
Oh, you told me that and I always forget that.
Yeah, so that's if you forget.
Surprisingly
Stassi was like FaceTiming Frank.
But if it was Frank, then it must have been Frank.
I think it was Frank, but I guess she was, I don't know. And she's like touching herself. And the video went around. Sheena showed a bunch of people. That's why season 3, Stassi fucking hates Sheena. Even didn't think it was possible for her to hate her anymore. And Lisa Vanderpump ends up paying Frank off, but only paid him like $900 to get him to like stop.
Which Frank, like, ugh.
And again, sounds like a man in politics. Moving on.
Gosh, Stassi. I love to hear how Stassi, like, she just is doubling down on she just needs sex, and that's it. Like, her libido is so big.
Which, good for her.
Good for her. It's as big as, like, the Thompsons' hopes for Schwartz and Sandy's.
Which, like, fuck someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like
She's
a girl
in
has
LA.
needs. You can literally fuck anybody. You are so hot. You just admit you like Jax.
And there are many people that can throw you around.
Oh, is that what
she was saying? Like, that was why with Jax she had, because he can throw her around.
Oh God, that's so sickening to me.
I know, like a hacky sack. So Stassi says that she doesn't want to hurt Jax's feelings, and that's why she's going to go to dinner with him, which is interesting because Stassi is fine hurting literally any other breathing mammal's feelings, but not Jax's. By this point, she had already rage texted Laura Lee that she is a friendless freak, called Sheena a hooker and a slut on repeat, poured an entire drink on her best friend's head, talks in violent metaphors about drawing and quartering and dragging people through the streets of West LA, but draws the line at hurting the feelings of the guy that cheated on her with a girl in Vegas that he got pregnant. Make it make sense.
I think I can. All of those things you just mentioned were things having to do with Jax.
Oh.
She's obsessed with this man.
And the other 3 can't throw around like a hacky sack.
No, she can't be fucking Sheena like that.
Yeah.
That's fair, though. It's a fair point.
Yep.
All right, now we're at Sir. We have like a quick little bit. There's a lot of Sir in this episode, actually.
Yeah.
This is a brief little daytime thing. And they're just foreshadowing like, oh, we have an additional room now. We need to hire a bartender. It's going to be Ariana.
Right. They're setting up the scene for that. But does this bar still exist?
Couldn't picture I think it's just the very back.
Oh, I thought it was in the front. Okay.
No, I think it's in the very back.
Okay.
Then we're at Sir at nighttime, and Tom Schwartz is interviewing for a job at Sir that Katie needs him to get so he can finally propose to her. It really does blow me away. Like, knowing Katie Maloney now, I can't see her as someone that just like really wants her boyfriend to propose. But that is how she was back then.
Right.
She wanted to marry Schwartz so bad.
I will say it was nice seeing it, like in the baby scene before this, them seeing each other and they were in love.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, Bubba, hi, I love your hair.
They
you look sexy."
kissed.
Yeah, it was sweet.
It made it make sense a little bit more of why this was a hard relationship to let go of, because they were in love at one point.
Did reality TV ruin them?
Yes. No. I don't know why I said yes. No.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Schwartz.
That's true.
He was going to be Schwartz on or off camera, in
I
between
think
camera.
the company he kept ruined.
That's true. I just don't think fundamentally they're a great match.
Yeah, I think maybe they were great in their early 20s
I think they were
or whatever.
great for that period of time.
Yeah, and they just didn't quite grow together.
Yeah.
I did write down that I feel like Tom was really awkward on camera in these scenes, like with like you could tell he was a little uncomfortable, and he's obviously not now. So I don't know. I just thought that was a cute little like, he's so awkward.
I'm gonna throw it out there that if Lisa were younger and Tom were older, you cannot convince me that they wouldn't be lovers.
I'm going to throw it out there that if Tom wasn't dating Katie and Lisa wasn't married to Ken and they were the same fucking age as they are in this scene, they would not be lovers. There was something there.
It was like Brad and Angelina, Mr. and Mrs. Smith energy going on.
Like, jokes aside, they did have chemistry.
Yeah. And he's damn charming and she's damn charming, and they both said the other were damn charming.
Yeah.
All I'm going to say. Just,
no,
of course, like, that's why she can't hire him. Because her loins would catch on fire.
It's an HR violation. It was so funny to hear Schwartz sell himself to Lisa in this scene. He's like, I'm educated. I've worked with high class celebrities. And then it's like flash forward to like, he can't keep any job.
No,
you know, like
yeah.
he's real, which he's doing what he should be doing in an interview is really selling himself. But I'm like, this isn't the Schwartz I know.
Yeah.
What high class celebrities have you worked with?
Question. I bet he partied with some and was like, I got their beer.
He like sold them weed.
Yeah.
And he's like, I've done business with high class celebrities.
Star files a 1099.
I can't explain this to my tax person, but business was done.
Then we head over to the beautiful halls of Villa Rosa, where Sheena shows Lisa her sprained ankle and tattles on Schwartz fighting with Shay at Sheena's birthday party.
I literally wrote that exact thing down. I said, Sheena literally went to Lisa's house to tattle on everyone.
She was a little tattletale.
Literally a tattletale.
But I will say, she tattled in this scene. I gave her points for that. But this is for all the YouTube commenters from our last video. It was like 2. I agree, looking back, that we were a little harsh on Sheena on the point sheet last week.
That is important to address, yes.
We were harsh. We did not take her pain at face value, and women believe women, and I think that I gave her too many. That being said,
she's not doing us much favors.
I was tempted here to make an appearance for this hematoma nonsense, but to make up for last week, I did not.
Okay, you're righting your wrongs.
I'm righting my wrongs.
I will say one of the commenters did comment something that I completely forgot about, and I did actually see the video. There is video footage of her like falling at this bar. I forget what it was, and it was the bar's fall, and it was like a rough fall. We'll have to watch it after this, and we make mistakes,
which is crazy because I literally like had an artery burst during oral surgery, so I know it's bad. I know it's bad.
But that is a good way to right your wrongs. We're not going to give points for the hematoma.
There you go. Just keep that in mind.
Sheena during this scene, I didn't even realize how much fucking Pandora and the divine addiction like was a thing this season. I forgot. But Sheena's now asked to be a writer, and she's been a writer her whole life.
She majored in journalism.
So this is perfect for her. I did Google if the divine addiction was still around, and the divineaddiction.com does exist, but it is not Pandora on the site, which in my mind means someone, a genius, decided to buy that URL.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, which is a fucking genius to me.
Yeah.
Because I bet she gets a lot of traffic of people trying to see if the divine addiction is still around.
That's true. Lots of rewatches going on.
That's my theory.
Mm-hmm. I'll take it.
All right, then we go back to Sir. Stassi is working, and Jax is trying to serve her alcohol instead of the customers. And that's his way to try to win her back, I guess.
He is begging Stassi to drink.
And she says no. He's like, do you want a shot? No. Wine. Do you want a glass of wine? Let me get you a glass of wine. You don't want a shot? Come on, do a shot. It's like she's literally serving tables. The women are sitting there watching him be like, fuck you bitches. I'm trying to get my girlfriend back by getting her drunk at work.
That's his way. Those are the only cards he has to play here.
Yeah.
What can I give her? Free alcohol?
She'll only date me if she's a little drunk.
She's a little tipsy.
So that was a quick scene. Then we go to another quick scene at Tom and Kristen's apartment.
Oh, God.
Kristen says Tom is doing everything right as a boyfriend. And I guess meaning like he's trying to like right his wrongs. But he can't even put together a $60 IKEA coffee table. Mm-hmm. Tom is useless. Like I'm thinking about like his history and relationships. Like it's so funny to compare how he was talking about Ariana. I was the one that bought the batteries. Yeah. I was the one that kept the house stocked. I don't think so, buddy.
Also, talk about patterns. Like this guy has stayed this same for 10 goddamn years. But yeah, he calls himself the precision man. And that's just, he couldn't be less precise about anything if he tried.
Yeah, 100%. But don't worry, we'll get back to him building that table.
This will be a through line throughout that episode.
Entire episode.
Comedic relief.
So now we go back to Sir. Stassi has a little meeting with Pandora. She's not doing great at the divine addiction. So she says, you know what'll be a good idea? I'm going to fight with my boss. Yes. I'm going to argue with her.
Yes.
But in Stassi's defense, she's not getting paid.
Yeah. And this was in the time when you were just expected to have an unpaid internship.
Have you had an unpaid internship?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so have I.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy to me to think that internships are paid now.
Oh, and I used to be the person that would hire interns unpaid.
Yeah.
So like I've seen both sides of it.
Like it is, I mean, it's good. You need that on your resume, but it is wild. Like we would put in 8 hours of work.
Oh yeah.
A day.
It's
for
fucked
no
up.
money.
It's like free labor. It's messed up.
Crazy.
Yeah. I feel like they've gotten it a little bit better these days, but
I think you have to pay your interns now.
Yeah. Well, you got around it where I worked by like saying it was a course, a school course thing. So we could do college kids if they weren't in college, we'd tell them just go sign up for community college just to do that. Yeah. It was fucked up.
Ours was, I think you could only do it 2 days a week. That was the workaround.
Oh.
But our school then made us they didn't make us, but they highly suggested we get a different internship for the other 2 days a week.
Yes.
So you would do 2 different internships, both unpaid. Mm-hmm. It's wild.
Yeah. Crazy world.
And here we are making a podcast.
For free.
Shit, I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. We're bitching about doing free work. Yeah, but this we're choosing. Our unpaid intern is our producer, Rachel. But it is interesting, like, that Pandora is giving Stassi so much shit and Stassi's like, I'm doing all this work. I'm not getting paid. I have a job that, like, I need to actually get paid and do. Like, I understood Stassi's point. But Stassi said some fucking underappreciated, hilarious motherfucking lines in this scene.
Repeat.
When Pandora says, we're bringing Sheena on, Stassi says, she's all of a sudden a writer? I thought she was a pop star. And then Pandora says that she's going to write about makeup. And Stassi goes, about what? How to look like an anime character? Wow. Because guess what? In season 2 of Vanderpump Rules, I'm sorry, Sheena is giving anime.
She's giving all the things that she said. She said anime character, fairy, porn star.
Yes.
Drag queen. I mean, kind of, it fits all the bills.
Here's the thing. In my book, you can be mean if it's funny.
That's true. It does give a partial excuse.
Like Christina Kelly, she's just mean.
That was mean.
But Stassi,
mean and funny.
She's funny.
It brings you, it's like how being funny for a guy makes you a little hotter.
Exactly.
Yeah, it brings you up.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Another one-liner that I wanted to highlight was she is an ass sucker. She is sucking on your ass right now, which is an interesting image. I hadn't heard ass sucker, those words put together. I really liked how that tickled my brain.
Unfortunately for me, it did give me an image in my head. And I didn't love that.
Ass sucker. Oh, it's beautiful. Then we go to the tattoo parlor, which I know where this one is. It's on Melrose. They love Melrose. Jax gets a koi fish tattoo over his tribal tattoo.
Is that much better? It's like Stassi hates this tribal tattoo. It's so outdated. I'm gonna get a koi fish. That's gonna be timeless.
At least it's not an abstract, corny thing. A koi fish, you know what you're looking at. You know, it's a fish.
My thought was like Jax has so many tattoos now.
Yeah.
That you probably can't even fucking notice that one anymore.
I bet the koi fish is now like a like a battlefield of samurai men or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Changing it
again,
up.
timeless. Not only does he want to cover up his tribal tattoo that Stassi hates, he says, you know what Stassi will love? We're broken up. She doesn't even want to fucking look at me. I'm going to get her name tattooed on me. I will say, it's kind of a nice looking tattoo though.
Really?
I think it's like a nice signature. I think it looks nice.
I mean, yeah, they really.
She's got a good signature.
They emphasized the S for sure. They made sure that was on point. Do you think Jax knew he was going to do that going into that scene? Or do you think he just pulled it out of his ass suckered?
I think he knew.
Really?
I think it was intentional. I think he wanted to do it on camera. I think he's now learning how to play the victim. Mm-hmm. And he wants cameras to see, this is how much I love Stassi. I'm willing to prove to her.
Mm-hmm. Not to jump ahead, but his tears later of saying, you don't know what I've done.
I couldn't believe that. I can't wait to talk about that.
I was crying laughing. Okay.
We quickly go back to Tom and Kirsten's apartment. Bloop. Tom's still trying to put together this damn table.
Shocker.
Moving on. We're back at Sir.
We're back at Sir, and Lisa tells Katie that she won't hire Schwartz because she is scared of the pulse in her loins that occurs when she is around him. Is that what happened?
I literally like, wait, when did she?
Is that not what was said?
She literally was like, Katie, I can't hire your boyfriend. I will fuck him. Jax, what bathroom did you fuck Laura in? We're going to get the locks replaced. I did want to point something out that was really, really quick. It's a fun little quip.
Yes.
So you know how they always do the like establishing shots at Sir and they show people like busting the tables and whatever. Mm-hmm. Do you know who Matt Cutshaw is?
No.
He's a Viner, and he's currently married to Ariel Vandenberg. Do you know who that is? She used to host Love Island US.
Was. Okay. Yeah.
And then he was like a Viner. He now is like really popular for like, he does a lot of like emo videos. Like, this is how emo music makes me feel and blah, blah, blah. Very popular internet guy. So he is a buzzard, sir. And I remember, because I used to follow this guy on Vine. I thought it was so hot. So I knew he's like kind of in some scenes or whatever. But fun fact, I went to emo night one night. And I was just on a fucking another level. Okay. And emo night, you guys should know what it is by now. They actually, they do it on the show in season 11.
Yeah.
It's just a night where they play emo music. I unfortunately saw a meme that said millennials emo night is our parents' 80s night. And it's true.
So embarrassing.
But I was just fucking on one, okay? And I had a friend that works at emo night, and she got us in the VIP section or whatever, and it was just free beers, right? And they had these PBR tall boys. And I decided I'm going to fucking shotgun one. Why? I don't know. That's a lot of beer for me.
Oh, is this recently?
This was like maybe like a year and a half ago.
Okay, great. Continue.
So yeah, I was too old to be doing this. I'm in my 30s.
Okay.
And I'm shotgunning this beer, okay? Little did I know, Matt Cutshaw is right next to me. He films it. And then he's got like millions of followers on Instagram. Puts it on his Instagram story that says, I don't know her, but she's epic.
Shut.
It was like my biggest claim to fame. And that is my link to this VPR episode.
Hey, I can't talk to you after today because you are too famous.
I have the most niche lore. It means nothing.
You are close to a Wikipedia page, I feel.
You know what? Somebody better start it.
Niche lore, yeah.
It's shit that will never get me anywhere in life. But I'm like, you see that guy that's busting the table that has no lines? One time he posted me on his Instagram story.
Dave Portnoy, ever heard of him?
Dave Portnoy follows me on TikTok. Why? Not sure. Miss Patricia in my comments. Why? I don't know. I'm an industry plant. It makes no fucking sense.
An unpaid industry plant.
Yeah, I am the unpaid intern of Hollywood. Anyways. This does give us one of an iconic scene where Stassi is forcing Sheena out into the alley to talk to her, even though Sheena is on crutches.
Right, and working at the front desk.
With her fucking leg up answering. Oh, anyways. So Sheena goes outside to talk to Stassi, and it is kind of a dumb fight that I truly don't give a fuck about. Like, Stassi just hates Sheena, and she's fighting with Sheena. Even though last episode they were kind of cool, like...
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time following, but dumb fight aside, this is where we get one of the most iconic lines when Sheena says, if you don't want to talk to me, walk away. And then Stassi says, no, hobble away. I don't know why that's iconic, but that is listed as one of the most iconic lines.
It is great.
And then Sheena literally
has to
hobble the fuck away.
And also back to YouTuber commenters, I just want to say this was another opportunity for me to put Sheena on the board with her leg propped up like she was at home watching Lifetime. I gave her no points here. So I think we're even.
Okay. I do think you have definitely righted your wrongs.
I've righted my wrongs. And yes, the walk away, no hobble away
is good. And
I need to see it on more t-shirts.
I will say, I do think Sheena had a pretty good comeback here, though. She says, remember that when you get in a fight with Katie and Kristen and need someone to cry to.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's right.
Yes.
That's what's been happening.
They're mammals that breathe.
And Sheena is right, because that is what's going to happen, and that is what does happen. Like, she continues to get in fights with Katie and Kristen, and Sheena is always there for her, which she shouldn't be.
And
she's
also,
a people
like,
pleaser.
Sheena didn't really do anything wrong in this situation.
She got hired for a job.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not her fault. She's a journalist.
She took an unpaid job. That's fine.
That you weren't doing good at. Sorry.
She has to do that. If I were Sheena, I would take my crutches and, like, do to Stassi what she threatens to do to other people, like impale her and drag her and put her on a minivan and stuff like that.
Totally. All right, now we're back at Tom and Kristen's. Cable's still not together. I will say the editors did this man dirty.
We haven't talked about his performance on Traitors.
Oh, yeah.
How it's
and everyone hates
bad
him.
And everyone hates him.
Again, editors doing him dirty.
And he's the precision guy here. I think if there were the inverse of the decisions he's made on Traitors, it'd be a perfect game.
Oh, fair.
Yeah.
And here's the thing about Traitors too. And I've gotten some comments about this because I've made videos about him on the Traitors of people saying, like, everyone's wrong. Everyone always has wrong guesses. But it's the fact that he not only is so wrong, but he thinks he's so right and doesn't shut the fuck up.
He's so adamant.
And that's the one thing people keep saying is that he talks so much.
Show to show, the common denominator is
very true.
He talks a lot.
Wells Adams even said in an interview that he sucks the oxygen out of the room. And doesn't allow time for anybody else to talk. And it's like, it's fine if you have theories, and it's fine if your theories are wrong. That's the point of the show. But like, chill.
Which I would be surprised if I were him. I'd be kind of scared to go into this environment because there's Chrishell's and people that are likely not wanting him to be there.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I think it's the best for him.
Yeah.
I think him on the Traitors is the exact type of show he needs to be on.
You're so right, because in Vanderpump, they're not editing him the way that needs to be edited. Like, this scene is great. Like, if he had more of this, I think he wouldn't have as big as an ego as he does now.
Right. He needs, I hate to sound mean, but like, he does need to be edited as a doofus. And it's because, and it will help him. It's a good thing for you, Tom. I know you're listening. It will make people like him again. Like on Vanderpump, he was edited as this great guy, this great friend, this great boyfriend. That's why Skinnerville was such a big deal. On Traitors, we're not expecting much of him because he's being edited as a doofus.
Right.
And it is making him likable. Like you and I said in previous Girls Unscripted episodes, we don't want him to be voted out.
Yeah.
We want to keep watching him because it's funny.
No, the way he runs with his hands.
And he's just taking it so seriously. I love it.
It's great.
This is perfect for you, Tom.
Yeah.
But I love how they then make it seem like Kristen puts it together in 2 seconds.
Yes. Those things are hard to be
Tom
fair.
Aside, I do think Tom is a bad boyfriend. I think Kristen's a bad girlfriend. I mean, we do know she fucked Jack. So like,
yeah, there's not.
I don't really feel much sympathy for either of them.
Don't get it twisted. We're not saying that it's perfect on both sides here.
They both suck. Then we have a scene in Jax's apartment.
Holy shit.
Talk to me.
Okay, Jax gets ready for his date with Stassi, and he puts on his shirt, and the koi literally bleeds, pun intended, bleeds. The ink bleeds, and he's literally bleeding.
Wait, I didn't even catch that. Did they say that? Or you just saw it?
No, I saw it, and they said it.
Oh, I missed that.
They were like, oh, dude, it's bleeding on your shirt.
Oh, you're right. Okay, fuck.
What would you take from this?
Well, I took that he's wearing a tuxedo vest over a V-neck long sleeve, and he sprays his penis with cologne. And I wrote down, man, am I glad I wasn't dating in LA in 2013.
And I love that Tom was like, no, man, like you got to do it just right behind the balls. Like this is clearly a topic that he has thought about thoroughly.
Yeah.
And acted upon and tested and perfected.
It's sickening. There was a quote that Tom does in like a Talking Head interview, and he says, Kristen loves to compare me to Jax. Since when the fuck is Jax the pinnacle of good boyfriends? The only thing that is comparable of the two of them is that they both cheated on their girlfriends with a girl in Vegas.
Yeah.
What are you comparing Tom to Jax? Like, and Kristen does that. Kristen puts Jax on a pedestal.
Because Jax is narcissistic, and the way that he does romance is very big and exaggerated because he wants to be seen as like the whatever. Although Tom tends to do that too. But he also cheats on his girlfriend a lot. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
I do. I remember there being things of like, yeah, Tom did these grand gestures for Kristen, but did them all wrong. Like, I think we might even see it in the season. He takes her to Korean barbecue and she's like, I'm a vegetarian. Like, he's missing the mark.
And he did pay for James's engagement, which was like insane.
Yeah. Well, God. Bring it back.
That's a few seasons later.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess maybe Jax is like telling Kristen how much he misses and wants to be with Stassi while his dick is in her mouth. I'm not sure.
I don't know. Who knows?
We go back to Sir. This is where Sheena's answering phones with her leg elevated. And Stassi and the girlies go to the bathroom during their shift. Mm-hmm. This is the bathroom. I know exactly what Sir bathroom it is. Yeah. That's right in front of the alley. Mm-hmm. But now it doesn't look like that anymore. It's very dark and moody now. Yeah. I've been in that bathroom many a times.
Crying. Throwing up.
Looking for wine that Stassi hid in the ceiling. This is during their shift. They're just in this bathroom gossiping. And Stassi is getting ready for her date with Jax, where Christina Kelly is like, ugh, you're going out with Jax. And I'm like, tell her.
Nice. Mean girl, but in a good way.
Then Jax picks her up in the alley in his busted ass fucking pickup truck. And they go to Bosque. No longer around.
I looked it up too. Yeah. Permanently closed.
Across from the pavilions on Melrose and Vine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, over in Hollywood.
Yeah. I remember when I first moved to LA, because it's funny, like for those of you that don't live in LA, I don't know if maybe it's because we're older now, but I do think times are a little different. I don't really feel like Hollywood is such a hot spot.
Oh, no. And maybe it is because we're older. I mean, I would only go there for bars.
Right. And it was a great bar scene now. And just so everyone knows, West Hollywood and Hollywood are very different. It's very different parts of town. But when I first moved down here, 2014, 2015, Hollywood was it.
Yeah.
That is where you went out. People were bar hopping, people were on the streets. I don't think it's really like that
No
anymore.
Vacancy, Dirty Laundry.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
all
Dirty
would have
Laundry.
blazed. Yeah.
Did you know I went to No Vacancy before it was ever open?
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God, it's more lore though.
Oh, more lore.
This is back when I was making out with the DJ at Dance Yourself Clean. And he invited me out one night. And we were at Dirty Laundry, and he goes, my friend is opening up a bar next door. Do you want to go see it? And it was under construction, and it was No Vacancy. Pretty cool. I saw Andy Dick that night.
That's so cool. Do you want to hear my No Vacancy story?
Yes, please.
It's not better than yours. Actually,
Mine was kind of lame.
when I was an assistant to...
I'm going to say something for the gabbers because we did just cut something out that you didn't hear. Talk about me having lore. The lore that Carolyn just told me about her life. Carolyn's lore is so good, we can't even air it publicly. She would break NDAs. She would get sued.
And I wouldn't do them dirty like that.
No,
you know?
you're a good person for not
Yeah.
saying that shit, but damn,
Yeah.
that's the fucking lore.
Anyways.
All right, so they're at Bosque, permanently closed. They use a lot of their date to talk shit on not only Sheena, but also Shay. Stassi's
Yeah.
obsessed with Sheena.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a fact.
She's a dog with a bone. She can't just, it's a loop on repeat in her brain.
100%. Stassi reveals that she wants Jax to move on from her. While Jax's arm pulsates in pain from the fresh ink he just got of her name. Tough. I am a little confused, though, of what Stassi actually wants. Because at first I wrote, she's being very direct. But then I deleted it because I don't think she's actually being direct. I think she's saying she doesn't want to be with him, but then she's kind of like being manipulative and saying like things like, you know what to do, Jax. I'm like, well, is he not trying?
Okay. Have you ever, Catherine, been in a position where a guy's trying to get you back?
Yeah.
And were you confused about whether you wanted it or not?
Yeah.
I felt for her in this scene.
Yeah,
Because
that's true.
it's a shitty position to be in when you in your gut know you are not supposed to be with the person sitting across from you. Yet the person sitting across from you is literally doing hell on earth to try to be the one person in your life that you should be. Why would you not want to be with them? And it's back and forth, and it's a horrible little spiral to be in for a while.
You're right. And it is someone that you loved and you lived with. And when you're seeing them basically sad because of your actions, you start to feel bad. It's like, I remember like fucking in high school and shit when I would like try to break up with boyfriends.
Yeah.
They'd be like, no, please.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, fine. Ugh.
And
and I
then-
even remember thinking, if you know I want to break up with you, why are you begging? Like,
Yeah.
how could you even be with me?
I felt for her in this episode. I was like, oh, it's tough. She envisioned a life with this guy. Her first
Yeah.
the pilot episode, she was saying she was going to marry him. She was so excited, and for it to go sideways, but now he's doing things right. But he is just, it's all an act. Kate.
Right. Oh, I mean,
Kate
he's
is
an actor.
just an act.
I have never seen Jax beg for a girl.
Yeah.
Quite like he is begging for
I wrote
Stassi.
that too.
It makes me wonder, like, do you think she was his one?
You have said this before.
I think they're meant to be. Well, I don't think they were meant to be. I think Stassi should not be with Jax.
Right.
But I think Jax should have been with Stassi.
We haven't seen him act like this with anyone since.
No.
Like, not a damn fool. Like, no one.
When he cheated on Brittany with Faith, he said, you don't deserve me. I'm just going to leave. You need to, like, he was trying to get out of it.
Yeah.
Like, whereas with Stassi, he's like, please, I'm so sorry. Take me back.
Well,
Blah, blah, blah.
and spoilers, when Brittany comes in seasons later and they have that conversation in front of Brittany where they're crying to each other, saying how like, I'm so sorry. No, I'm so sorry. In front of Brittany.
And Brittany even says, I've just never even seen Jax have emotions like that.
Yes.
I mean, that should tell you.
Yeah.
But I do think she will always be his one that got away.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
But I think if he got her back, he would cheat on her again.
Yeah.
So.
And he deserves for her to have gone away.
There was a weird thing he said to Stassi too. It was so funny because it's like they were bickering in the restaurant, then they're bickering in the parking lot, then they're bickering in the car, then they're bickering outside of her apartment. Like, I normally write down the locations and I couldn't even keep track.
I said, we say it's bad when we can see producers having to break the fourth wall. We're like, oh, it's getting juicy. You know it's bad when the cameraman is having to like run alongside the truck.
Right, I'm like, how are they getting these shots?
Trying to get the footage of what they're hearing.
Yes,
on
I know. It was
microphones.
really impressive. I thought the same thing when they're outside of Stassi's house because I'm like, there's no lighting. They were not planning on filming outside of this
They
bitch's
literally
house.
tailed them CIA style to
Literally.
their house.
He says something to Stassi. He says, if you want me to move on, then why are you crying a little bit? And I'm like, because this is sad. Because she has emotions. And I even wrote, because she has emotions and you don't. But then, do you think his emotions, his crying was real? I felt it was. So now we're in the car.
I don't know if they're real, but I say if I had done that on my arm, I would cry that hard too.
I think it was so manipulative, Carolyn. I think it was fake. I think
you don't know what I've done.
I wrote Jax is crying, and I put crying in quotes. Because I feel like he does this a lot, and Stassi showed no emotion in that scene, which to me proves this isn't the first, second, or third time that he's been like, Stassi, no, see, I can't really like the fucking fake crying. I felt like it was just so manipulative. She wasn't budging, so then he decided to yell, to hit the car, to fight, to what. It's like, dude,
he was acting like a child. Like he was doing everything in 5 seconds. He was panicking, then he was freaking out, then he was going to mad, to nice, to sad, like all within 3. Because he was just melting down. It's like, how do I win this situation? I'm losing it. And he
felt out of control. Yeah.
And he especially felt out of control when he learned that Frank was still in the picture, and his ego is just really hurt.
Okay. That answers my question. Thank you for saying that. Because I was like, why is he so, like, honestly only obsessed that she wants to get back with Frank? He didn't really start flipping out like this until she mentioned
I think Frank. It was his ego. I think it just took a beating and he didn't know how to like cope with everything.
Maybe he doesn't care if she just like, it's kind of a fun little game. Like she doesn't want to get back together with me. Let me try.
Yeah.
But then it turns into like, I don't want to lose to another man.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
It's a very like narcissistic thing. It's like, fuck, no one can have her if I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
If I can't have her, no one can have her, which that scares me.
It's a scary thing.
Jax is scary to watch.
And then him like screaming when he does scream at like the car that drives by, like, shut up or whatever.
God.
Just hearing that freaked me out a little bit too, because I was like, again, the camera's not in his face. We're catching the audio of this. Imagine if the audio were off. Yeah. Imagine if no one were there, how upset he might be.
He is so dumb that he probably didn't realize that they were going to use that, because he was still mic'd up, but he's like, well, there's no camera, so they're not going to.
Yeah,
like,
they can't use it if there's not a
dude,
picture.
what about the 3 production vans that are following you right now? There was one part that made me laugh out loud during this fight, which is when he drops Stassi off and they're talking and he goes, shut the door. And then she shuts the door and he goes, wait, where are you going? And she's like, I'm walking into my house. You like just told me to shut the door. Like this man is a mess. He's manic. He does not know what he wants.
And we end the scene with him just staring at her from outside the gates.
Yeah.
Like Halloween style.
So dramatic. It was funny though, because we already knew from Peter that she used to live on Olympic.
Yes.
And that definitely was Olympic Boulevard.
Yeah.
Busy street.
That adds some proof you were having your doubts.
Yeah, that one I still think someone lived in the valley. But I'm going to put that aside for now.
For now.
Really great episode.
Great episode.
These episodes are just filled. Like, I forgot. I'm now, with each episode that goes by, I'm like, wow, we really
it's good to be back.
Should have immediately recapped. All right, give me the list.
All right, really quickly, we are going through our list. It's short this week, not a whole lot.
Yeah, I know this wasn't a big dramatic ep.
Wasn't a big like punishable week.
That's a better way to say it.
Stassi and Christina Kelly mean girl the F out of Sheena, making fun of her birthday dress and everything about her. I just gave Stassi a 1 because I don't tolerate mean girl behavior. When it's that blatant, you go on my sheet.
No, it was mean. Yeah.
You go on my sheet.
But it's a 1 because of all the things Stassi says, it's not that bad.
It's really not that bad. Yeah. Sheena tattles on Lisa about Schwartz getting a fight at her party that she was the cause of, ruining his chances for employment. So I gave her a 1 for that.
Fair.
Stassi melts down about Pandora hiring Sheena as a writer, saying she does makeup like an anime character, a fairy, a porn star, and that drag queens are the only people who would ever look at her stuff. It's a joke, and that Sheena is an ass sucker.
She said the drag queen part? Yeah. Oh my God. Where did she come up with this stuff?
Should that be a 1 or a 2? I can't decide.
What do you have it as?
I have it as a 1.
It's Stassi.
It's Stassi, exactly. She would just be off and running. Okay, Jax gets a tattoo of his ex-girlfriend's name for literally no reason. I gave that a 2. I thought, that's great. That's nuts.
It is manipulative at its core. And there's a motive behind it.
And it's permanent. It's extreme. It's a 2. Stassi melts down in the Sir back alley to Sheena over her getting a writing job. I gave Stassi a 1. Yeah. Jax yells at Stassi when he's the cheating lying piece of shit. I gave him a 2 because he was yelling. You don't yell at a girl like that.
It was bad.
It was spooky. That gives Stassi 6.
It was spooky.
We ended up with Stassi at 6, Jax at 8, Sheena at 2, and that's it. So
I would agree with that. Yeah.
running totals. So overall, we have Stassi and Jax are now tied with 6. Sheena's still with 10, so she's still above. But this happened last time that Sheena was really high up, and then Stassi and Jax caught up very quickly. I think that's what we're going to see again. Sheena is at 10, Kristen 4, Sandoval 8, Schwartz 2, Katie 2.
We didn't have any points for, I don't think it's point worthy for him not being able to build a.
I almost put it on there.
It's not point worthy though.
But
it's an honorable mention.
It's doofus behavior, but I don't know if I want to punish him.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Next episode, they're going to Lake Arrowhead. Stassi's mom lives there. Have you ever been to Lake Arrowhead?
Yes.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Can't wait to talk about it next week.
Can't wait.
All right, well, go Birds.
Go Birds. Can't wait to see.
That's my sign off from now.
If
And
you're
then
happy or
I'm
not
going to come
next
back in next week and my mood could be very different.
Yeah, and you'll know the reason.
Yeah,
Because.
it'll be depending on what I'm wearing. If I'm wearing green, we can talk about it. If I'm wearing a normal person outfit, maybe we don't bring it up.
Well, maybe I'll cheer for the Birds just for you, Kate.
It would be kind of fucked up if you did.
I'm just sorry. It came out
But you
wrong.
are a Swiftie.
Yeah, but again, he's won enough. They've gotten enough.
Yeah, both teams kind of have. All right. Well, I'm so glad to see all the responses of everybody that's super happy about our recap being back.
I'm so happy it's back. And lest you forget about shopgirlsunlimited.com, where you can get all the fun looks that we have on this podcast. I got this sweater from there, and it's a great subscription service. You can get like 4 items, 8 items, however much you want a month, and it is easy to return, all that jazz. Look it up.
You have been wearing cute stuff.
Thank you. It has been nice to be like, okay, and I'll take it back, and I don't have to keep it forever if it's like not gonna be a classic style forever.
Right.
So I like it.
Much like Jax's tattoos.
Exactly.
But he can't return those.
No, he can regret them.
He can just regret. You can't return, but you can regret. And on that note.
On that note, people, thank you so much. We love you. Like, subscribe, follow, share. Tell your mom.
Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your kids, tell your wife, and we'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.